found a half-acre lot right off Kawaii Street.
Oh.
All right, there's Erica.
At first we thought, wow, half an acre. Now it's like half an acre, hard work.
Yeah, I got 3 now.
We have 14.
You got 14.
And it's mostly inaccessible, so plus I don't have to really deal
Acres that size makes for a good case for a bush hog.
with it. Yeah. Too much.
But you had not heard from Julie.
Have not.
You text her. Just see her.
Is Andy coming?
Haven't heard from him
I
either.
never heard from him.
Probably him right there.
There he is.
Ta-da!
Sure.
My light. My light.
You're right on time.
Right on time. You guys got everything fixed?
No,
No.
still working on it.
Rob said that you guys would almost got it done, will be back operating today or something, tomorrow.
All of these are, what's the word? Predicated on multiple things happening right.
Oh.
Par for the course.
Always something, huh?
It's usually just things take longer than you think.
Hi, Erica.
Aloha all.
There's
Oh,
no,
someone from Echo Soul.
So Roberta, I just texted Julie too, just to see. We
Okay.
have quorum. We have quorum.
Mhm. I show a few more minutes, so maybe I'll wait.
Yep, yep.
Nahua, how was your drive home?
It was a bit risky all the way up to Maunakea Access Road, and then it got better.
Not
It was
looking
really
forward
pretty
to it.
heavy. Only fog up by Maunakea Access Road, but it was raining pretty bad up there as well. Glad to be home safely.
Yeah.
Justin came into the office, he was soaked.
Oh yeah.
And Travis, I saw Travis as well, and he was soaked.
Yeah, the mountain got quite a bit of rain this today.
Yeah.
Ranger said it rained all day, so. And you could see puddles everywhere up on the mountain, so. But it's
Roads
good rain.
Are the roads okay?
Yeah,
You
the
go-
roads were good. It just had a lot of water on it.
Any word from Julie?
No,
Great. Okay.
she didn't reply.
Well, we do have quorum. It's 5 o'clock. Shall I go ahead and start?
Yeah,
Okay. All right, it is 5 o'clock and I will call the meeting to order. For the record, all of us attending via Zoom, if you have anyone in the room with you, raise your hand. Seeing none, for the record, we are all attending via Zoom by ourselves. There also has been no written or oral testimony that was submitted, so we can move forward now to approval of the May 5th minutes. Any changes to what was circulated? If not, may I have a motion to approve the minutes as circulated?
So move.
Thank you, Dr. Bergen. Is there a second?
I'll second. Oh, Andy,
Oh, Andy, second?
yeah,
Thank you. So a motion and a second, all in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous approval. Next on the agenda is let's see. Do we want to do Kahukumana report or go ahead and move to the UST site plan application? Either way
Let
is
me-
fine with me, Greg.
I'll do the Kahukumana report first, because it's fairly quick, and then we can do the site application.
Okay,
Okay. So aloha, everybody. Nice to see you all. Thanks for joining us this evening. Kahukumana held their annual retreat up at Halepohaku, May 15th and 16th. We covered a number of things, but on the first day, the first afternoon, they had presentations by Kaleo on current education and outreach activities. And then they had also a discussion and an update with Dwayne Wipa, our lead ranger, because they're quite interested in some of what the rangers are encountering, particularly with visitors. And then a short presentation by Justin Ye on his natural resources program. So we'll be bringing those reports back to you folks as well as part of our regular updating of your group, of this group. In Justin's proposal or presentation, he focused on the educational trail and greenhouse that project that we are proposing to do. I know we've discussed it here, and we will discuss it further with this group as well as the project moves on. But as you might expect, Kahukumana was quite interested in what that project is all about. And once again, just as a reminder, that's an educational trail that basically wraps around and connects the visitor information station with the Halepohaku mid-level facilities and the greenhouse up there. And the idea would be to create an educational trail with signage and different educational materials so that when people are acclimating, they can have an experience there at the mid-level facility as well. Then that evening, we had arranged for a tour, a site visit and tour of Keck. So after dinner, we went up and took them up and were able to see the sunset. And then they also had a chance to talk to some of the technicians who were operators who were working that night. It was interesting because none of them had been inside an observatory before, so it was kind of a big deal for them. So then we came back down and did some launa after that. Saturday after breakfast, they had wanted to see some of the cultural sites if it was possible. And so there is one site that is easily accessible right on the access road to VLBA. There's a site there with some uprights that have been documented in our archaeological survey that we believe were used to collect observations by our kupuna of the night skies. So we hiked up there and had an opportunity to kind of experience that and see what that was all about. And then when we came back down, we actually, after lunch, had another meeting in which I updated them on the legislative activities this session, which I'll be covering in my executive director's report. By all accounts, they found the retreat and the time spent up there very, very rewarding and fulfilling, and they look forward to doing it again. Because of that, we won't be meeting this month because of the extended meeting retreat last month. We won't be meeting this month. We don't really have any projects or whatnot to cover. Everything that we teed up has been discussed with them already. So looking forward again to re-engaging with them after the retreat, because I know that they were quite rejuvenated and refreshed by being up there. So that concludes my Kahukumana report for this month. Any questions?
Right, just, if kids were gonna, that speaks us with Kahukumana.
You mean in terms of an ongoing role, or?
Yeah.
They have had discussions with Kahukumana. Not the whole committee, only the chair, Shane Nelson. And they've indicated they would like to have Kahukumana. They would like to have, they want to have a cultural advisory group. And they're going to look to Kahukumana as a natural place to start, although they may build that out. Kahukumana has had their own views on that, that whole situation. That, and I don't want to speak for them, but I think they are in a wait and see mode to see how MK develops before they're willing to commit themselves.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
No.
So if I can, I'll just move on, Roberta.
Yes.
So I'd like to jump to the agenda item 6A, the underground storage tank site application project. Again, this is being presented at this point for information only, since you folks have already approved the project. But I want to make sure you folks are apprised of where we are in the process as it moves along. So you have the site plan application in your board materials, and more than willing to answer any questions regarding the application itself. Although a lot of that information is really repeated from the environmental assessment that was completed, as well as the project proposal that you folks initially approved. But we are available to answer any questions. However, I have asked Rodrigo to give a brief overview of where we are in the whole timeline of the project, because I know that we bring these things to you folks in pieces spread out over time. So it was, I want to make sure you folks understand where things are. So Rodrigo?
All right. Hello, everybody. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So as Greg was mentioning, this summer we finalized the EA process with the underground storage tank. This is a brief summary of the work that has been done towards the project. We initiated in the second quarter of 2024 when all the internal advisory committees, this one included, was briefed on the project. Third quarter, all the committees granted formal approval to proceed with the CDA and CDUP. Later on, we'll find out that OCCL told us, so we had our kickoff meeting on the first quarter of 2025. In the second quarter of 2025, we had consultation with state and federal agencies, and it was then that OCCL indicated that site plan application was required, not a CDUP. So from that point on, we changed the strategy, and instead of doing a CDUP, we were an SPA. Third quarter of 25, consultation letters were sent to community members asking about Native Hawaiian traditional and customary rights or practices. Last quarter of 25, SHPD concluded there was no historic properties affected and that an archaeological monitoring program would take place during the project. The internal review committees provided comments on the draft EA. Then the EA was published in the environmental notice with a 30-day public review in December. In January of this year, the public comment period for the EA ended. No comments were received from the public. 2 agency comments were received and addressed. Second quarter of this year, the archaeological monitoring plan was approved by SHPD. The SPA was sent to CMS for distribution to the internal review committees. The final EA and FONSI were published in the environmental notice last month, and the 30-day comment period ended for the final EA FONSI with no comments received. So at that point, the EA process was complete. This is where we are right now. The site plan approval is to be submitted to OCCL either this month or next. Application will be reviewed and approved or denied within 30 days. It's important to notice that once the site plan approval is approved, construction must commence within 1 year of the issuance of the site plan approval permit, and construction must be completed within 3 years of the issuance of the site plan approval permit. So from here on, the draft IFB will be published, and we expect to select the contractor during the last part of this calendar year. We hope to award the contract in January, February of 2027 and issue the notice to proceed. And that'll give you from early 2027 through July 15, 2028, which is a DOH deadline to complete the project. That's the where we are and where the project stands right now. I hope that did I stop sharing my screen?
Yep, you did.
So I'm using my computer at home, which I had to reset the whole thing. So I have half of the apps working, the other half are not working. But that's where we are with the UST. The EA process is now officially completed. SBA will be submitting a SP site plan approval request, and once that's granted, then we issue out the invitation for bid and try to get a contractor selected by early 2027 to launch the project.
So once again, this is something we're required to do because of the age and condition of the underground tanks. So they'll be decommissioned and removed, and they'll be replaced with some above ground fuel tanks, much smaller size and footprint to serve our needs.
Correct.
Any questions for Rodrigo and myself?
Do we have funding in place?
Yes, you want to explain the funding, Rodrigo?
The funding?
Yeah.
Yes. So this project was presented to the observatories 2 years ago. The anticipated cost for the project at that point was $1.2 million. Observatories agreed to pay in 3 fiscal years, $400,000 each year. So this coming year, FY27, will be the last year we're collecting from them to collect all the funds for the project. If, because of current international situations involving tariffs and oil prices, the cost of the project goes above what we had anticipated. We're planning on using some funds that MKSOA is providing as part of the cost sharing agreement to fill in the gap.
So we feel comfortable with the funding situation, to making sure that the project gets done.
Yeah. It's amazing. I just want to comment. Thank you so much for all your work, Rodrigo, and the CMS team. But it's problematic because it takes so long to get all the approvals. And as we all know, the financing just gets higher and higher. It doesn't stagnate and it doesn't go down. So, I think when thinking about future projects, you're going to have to really put in, margins that the observatories agree to pay in terms of, cost
Well, here's
escalation.
here's the thing. I did put in some surplus margins into the project, but nobody were anticipating the tariffs that we applied left and right to everything. The tanks are coming from Canada. Nobody was anticipating a war with Iran that would send the oil prices through the roof. So I had anticipated for expected, inflationary adjustments, but nothing of what we're seeing right now.
So unfortunate.
Yeah.
But thank you for all the work.
My pleasure.
And it sounds like, Greg, the team has figured out a way to make up any difference. But interesting that it's going to take by the time completion, maybe even 4 years. Am I correct in understanding that because it's Halepohaku, you're not going to have the same issues that you have with winter weather as you would top of the mountain? Or
Right.
Okay, so you don't have to stop the work.
No, we might get some rainy days, but we don't expect any winter weather delays at the HB elevation.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. So unless there's anything else, Greg, I'm gonna tap out.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thanks, Rodrigo.
And as a side note, I looked at the last page of the application and it has the whole timeline. So that was very helpful because I remember, we've been listening to this for how long, and Department of Health, EPA had issued you have to do this,
Right.
back before 2024, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, we got the notice, 2024, but the date that it has to be done by is 2028.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So
Okay.
We can move back to Executive Director's report.
Sure. Sarah, can I share screen? I don't have them.
You should be able to.
It's not showing me.
You're on as a panelist.
Yeah.
You want to send it to me? I'll share it.
Okay, here we go. For some reason it was turned off. Okay, thank you, everyone. So I do have a few items as listed on the agenda that I wanted to update you folks on. Give you a quick update on where we are with the outcome of this legislative session. An update on our financial stabilization plan or the cost sharing plan. The work that we're doing on the master plan amendment as directed by the regents. Some updates on MK SOA and then a regent update. So on the legislative side, we've reviewed some of this before, but now essentially what has happened is that House Bill 2592 went through the whole process and went into committee and came out with some amendments, and that has now been signed into law as Act 53 by the governor. The key highlights and amendments to the original Act 255 that Act 253 has now put in place, enacted, are number one, the transition date from that where MKSO is supposed to take over has been extended to December 1st, 2029. That is about a 17-month extension from the June 30th, 2028 transition date, the original transition date. So that's one thing. And then as I've discussed, it has now been confirmed there are two dates in which if certain milestones are not reached by MKSOA, management would revert back to UH. June 30th, 2028, they must adopt their management plan. But in addition, it needs to be quote unquote operational by December 1st, 2029. It's not clear exactly what operational means. We had a joint management committee meeting this afternoon. That was one of the topics that we took up. Because their management plan needs to cover a number of different things outside of UH's current jurisdiction, including the process and criteria by which they would be issuing new leases. And so that in order for that plan to be operational, it's our view that they would have to have their administrative rules in place. So there's a number of interdependencies here that it's not quite sure how this will all work out. But the second reversion date is by December 31st, 2029. They have to submit their administrative rules for approval to the governor. Either of those not met, then things revert back to, management reverts back to UH. The third bullet is existing UH plans and rules remain in effect until they're replaced. So we basically have formalized now that we are formally operating in our joint management relationship under the UH plans and rules. It is silent. Act 253 is silent on the future of the conservation district use permits. We have some thoughts on some of the language in the bill, but it doesn't address and how it might affect the CDPs, but it doesn't address the CDPs directly. The next bullet has to do with how MKSOA holds title. And I just extracted the exact language there out of the bill as to how they hold title. But essentially, as you might recall, they were seeking to have a fee simple interest. But it's been clarified by the legislature that title remains with the land board. And they have, MKSOA will have the similar authorities and interests as UH has. So they will hold the land in a lease arrangement. And then the last bullet, which is really both a gift as well as a complication is MCA Solar has now been granted the authority to extend the existing leases for a period of up to 10 years with an exemption from Chapter 343, which is the need to do a formal environmental review. So that means, but that authority only spans during the transition period. They cannot extend the leases after the transition period. So what that does is that should they not be ready to fully take over, there is an option for them to extend the existing leases with the observatories. Although there are a number of things that would be required to enable that to happen. But obviously, if for those who have followed any of this on social media, you know that there's quite a bit of focus and interest by the community on this particular issue of extending leases by law with a Chapter 343 exemption. So these are some of the key points from the legislation that we are now having to think through and work through. As I indicated, we had a meeting with the Joint Management Committee this afternoon to begin talking about what are the implications of these major elements from the bill. Any questions on this before I move on?
Maybe a quick question. This extending leases, does that imply extending them more or less unchanged, or is there some provision for something?
Well, that's where the need for rules kind of comes in. As I understand it, and Erica, you would probably be better to answer this, but as I understand it, under existing like land board rules, lease extensions are possible in certain situations under certain circumstances. I think it's our understanding that, but I have to verify this, that one of the things that can be done is like lease rent could be adjusted during as an extension. But I don't think, in fact, I'm pretty sure the extension cannot be it has to be for an existing use in an existing location.
Sure.
You can't be proposing to expand the use or expand the facility. But there are some terms that can be negotiated as part of an extension. Do I have that right, Erica, or?
Well, the challenge is that there's a restriction on any new leases. So that's very clearly under Act 255 and under the amendment, which is now Act 53. Really, the change that was made was just to remove the restriction around extending lease terms. But our understanding is that the interpretation is that this extension is just as to the term of both the master lease and the sublease. So, you know, there may be some arguments for technical, you know, required minor revisions, but it appears that as to substantive changes, that has not been expressly included in what would be allowed under this extension right for Act 53. I hope that answers it.
So it's not clear. It really isn't clear.
I know, because I guess,
Go into the details.
Yes, yeah.
because the other question is who makes the final, who decides that? Is it Attorney General, or, you know, how is this all gonna work? And I guess the other question what I had is, when you extend the lease and you have, let's say, 6 leases, is the extension the same for all 6, or can all 6 have different extension terms? You know, I guess there is no clarity on any of that, which is wow, problematic to begin with.
Yeah, I was listening to the MK Soul board meeting, the May meeting, and Noi said that she acknowledges that they were granted that authority, however, they don't intend to exercise it unless they comply with existing rules and regulations in terms of normal public disclosures and things of that nature. And Kobayashi also concurred and said they would consider extensions only as a last resort.
So these are some of the kinds of issues that we're having to think through now,
Yeah,
I think at this point.
I think they're in the same place that we are.
Yeah.
They really don't know.
Any other questions on the legislation? Okay, if not, moving on in my executive director's report. As we've been reporting and updating you folks all along, this is the cost sharing agreement, MOA, that we've been working on with MKSOA. I believe I've shown you this budget before, but this is the budget that we agreed to in this initial 14 months of the agreement. There's a portion of the budget called operational services, and these are activities and functions that MKSOA has agreed to provide us some funds to ensure no drop off in services, along with some funds to assist them with some of their integration planning and implementation. The second part of the budget is what we call the additional services budget. This covers a number of different things, ranging from some conservation and educational programs that they've asked us to, they indicated they would like to support, some additional funds for the Ranger program. We have quite a bit of equipment replacement needs that we've been discussing with them that they've agreed to help support, as well as some deferred maintenance and issues around, you know, infrastructure upgrades like the underground storage tank or emergency response. I am happy to say that the 2 items circled in red, we have already issued invoices for. And so those payments are being processed. They were approved by Executive Director DeFries. The $2.525 million for the operational services budget helps us fill the gaps for the reductions in our revenues from rent and research funds from the university. And then the 1.475 is for replacement of a whole slew of some of our heavy equipment, our snow machines, snow plows, and things like that, support vehicles. So those 2 invoices have already been issued, and they're in the process of being processed by DLNR, MKSOA, and DLNR. Any questions on where we stand with the budget or the MOA to do cost sharing? Once again, at this point, this budget here is only through June of next year. But we're being told that MKSOA is planning to have enough monies to continue to extend this plan in the years after.
Yeah, I was told they got approval for 13.8 for fiscal year 2027.
Okay. And I knew it was gonna have a slight reduction, but we weren't sure how much. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, master plan amendment, our consultants and outside counsel are assisting us with this. Erica, myself, and Nahua met with the consultants the other week. We do have an initial draft of the amendments. This is once again is to align our master plan with Act 255 that prioritizes the reuse of decommissioned sites for astronomy. So we do have an initial draft that we've reviewed with outside counsel and our consultants, and they are taking that feedback and that discussion and going back and doing some more work on it. Our plan is still to begin a consultation with our advisory groups, et cetera, later this summer, once we get a cleaned up draft of the proposed language. And then we do have a frequently asked questions sheet that has been drafted, has been reviewed, and I don't think there's any more comments on it. I'm not exactly sure, but these will be distributed as well. But the questions that we anticipate people will be asking about why we're doing this and what this is all about. So that's where we stand with the master plan amendment. Any questions? Okay. MKSO updates. They continue to work on their management plan. We are told that they are still on track to have a draft of their management plan to their board in October of this year. At which time they anticipate a 5 to 6 month process of internal review before they take it out for public consultation. What that public engagement, community engagement piece looks like, we're not quite clear, but I know that that is their intention. We meaning the CMS management team, have all been interviewed by the consultants to get our input on various aspects of the plan. But we've not seen exactly even a summary of our interviews or our feedback, nor have we seen any drafts coming out yet. But we're told that a draft is on track to be submitted in October of this year. Regarding the EIS that they would like to do, that they need to do for new leases, they did run into a bit of a speed bump or road bump in securing a consultant. So they are working now on an RFP to issue to solicit interest from various from planning firms who would be willing to work on this. We're providing some background assistance and input to them on how best to prepare the RFP. They do want to do run the RFP through RCUH. So us having some experience, CMS having some experience working with RCUH, we're providing some input that way. I am not clear on a new timeline for this. I think they want to have an RFP issued by August, if I recall right, but I'm not 100% clear on that. Maybe a little sooner. And then lastly, the work of the long-term transition working group. This is the group that's been working on the plan for the transfer of assets and liabilities. We've gone through 2 drafts now of a plan by their consultants, MKSO's consultants. That work was temporarily slowed down, paused, if you will, pending legislative outcomes. They wanted to see what was gonna come out of the legislature before they completed the next draft. We were told that this next draft, which would be the third draft of the plan, is due this week. We have yet to receive that, but we're told that it was due this week. So we're not quite sure what changes to the plan the consultants may have made as a result of, for example, the extension of the transition date. Any questions on MKSO updates? Okay, if there are none, then the last item I had was just an update on our new regent appointment. So as you know, Wayne is terming out. We're gonna miss him, obviously. He's been a strong supporter of Hawaii Island issues on the regents. The governor has appointed on an interim basis Makai Freitas to represent or fill that West Hawaii seat that Wayne was in. We're assuming, I don't know, Mike, but we're assuming that Makai would also be appointed as a second regent rep here on the Maunakea Management Board at some point.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
But it depends on who the next chair will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the regents will be getting a new chair.
We have elections July 2nd.
Okay. So Makai's appointment is effective July 1st, 2026, and his term expires June 30th, 2031. He would still need to go through confirmation by the Senate at the conclusion of before the conclusion of the next legislative session. And a couple of notes of interest: he is a current DHHL commissioner, which I understand he will be resigning from to assume this position. And if you were if you saw the local news this weekend, you also saw that he was also elected as a Democratic Party chair this weekend. So we look forward to having Makai join us if he is in fact appointed. I have reached out to him, and assuming that he is appointed, we are planning to do some orientation with him prior to his appointment taking effect. Any questions on the regent update? I don't know if you wanted to add anything, Mike.
Well, we're looking forward to Makai joining us. He brings a lot of experience dealing with large organizations as well as the legislature. So yeah, we're looking forward to him being on the board.
Yep. Yep. Okay, that concludes my executive director's report. Roberta, if there are
Okay.
any other questions on anything I've covered?
I don't see any questions.
Okay.
So as far as agenda item B, that's no longer going to happen, right? Regarding an update on the TMT telescope status.
Maybe I should have updated the board at the beginning of the meeting. Feng Xuan Liu, project manager for TMT here in Hilo, was scheduled to provide an update on the status of the project to Maunakea Management Board tonight. This would have been the same update that he provided to the regents a couple of weeks ago, and that he has provided to the MKSOA board a few months ago. He informed me, Feng Xuan informed me over the weekend that he is unable to do the project for the update for various reasons, and wouldn't be available tonight to do that. I can share with you what I know, and they are doing their due diligence on the Canary Islands. Hawaii continues to be, Mauna Kea continues to be their preferred site. They have been receiving a few offer, or they have received an offer from Spain to invest in the program, in the project. I'm not sure of the details of that and what exactly that would require, but obviously Spain is pushing to get them to decide to move there. Any decision to change locations would require a unanimous decision by the board. And from what we understand, the board is not all on the same page as far as that particular decision is concerned. But they continue to state that Hawaii is their preferred location. So that's all I really have at this point. We will try to get Feng Shuan rescheduled to do his update at a later date.
Thank you, Greg. Now we move on to executive session. Would you like to make a motion, Greg?
Yeah, I would like to move that we go into executive session to discuss with our attorneys, the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities pursuant to HRS 92.5, excuse me. This is regarding some of the matters that we've covered tonight, and in particular, how it impacts our decision-making and our authorities in our joint management role with
I'm
MPSO.
ready for you to go into executive.
Is there a second for that motion?
Second,
Thank you, Dr. Billy. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye or raise your hands.
aye.
Aye. Okay, unanimous. So we will now move to executive session and reconvene later. Thank you.
Check with Pat. Check with Pat. I think I'm already in executive session.
I'm sorry,
I'm already in executive session. You don't need to come in.
I can't hear you.
You don't need to come in. I'm already in executive.
Okay, so you don't want me to come in, okay? So you're good, I don't need to
Yeah.
come in, right?
Good.
Okay. I'll wait till
That's what it's scared about. And I was the only person. Now, it's just about me. You might know it. You want from the same street of tax. Although, we probably got more than that. Yeah. If you know, we know that. My mother's severe constant was that me out of pictures. Now, I have scatters.
We ready to switch over?
Are you ready to switch over?
No, no, I'm okay. I think it already did.
Yeah, okay.
Hello. Hi, Sarah. I have a notice and it says we're in executive session. We will return momentarily. What should I do? Okay. Okay, so I go to leave webinar. Okay.
digitized, digitized.
Be able to do that.
Yeah. But I remember years ago talking to some local people from families from Kona, who, when they were children, this was back in the maybe before the war, right before the war, or in the early 50s, where they used to go up and they tell this story that at the summit, there's this big mayonnaise jar. People would leave their messages in the mayonnaise jar when they reached the summit. And so we're trying to see, Joy said she's found references to a jar at the summit, but she doesn't know of anybody who actually has it or if it's still around or anything.
That would be unusual.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you got to the summit, you leave a message, you know, so and so, you know, I was here on this day. Yeah.
That was their form of log because it's waterproof.
Kind of like modern day, I mean, old style geocaching, right?
That's what I was gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
it reminds me of geocaching.
Yeah. I thought it was cute. I could just see it, this big Best Foods mayonnaise jar.
A gallon one,
Yeah.
unless they made a big back there.
Yeah,
The
might
glass
even-
kind.
Right,
It-
yes.
It'd be glass.
Oh, wow.
Well, while we were waiting here in Kona, we had a little bit of an earthquake, 4.6.
Yeah, I
saw that.
saw.
Yeah, so I jumped up a little bit because it kind of shook the house. So
Whoa,
Well, we had a
4.6.
little jerk here.
Oh,
yeah,
4.6.
aftershock.
Oh.
Yeah. it was off of Kahalu.
Oh,
Really?
was it deep? Did they say if it's
They
deep?
didn't say yet. Yeah,
Oh,
they just said
okay.
just looking, it was off of Kahalu.
Wow. That's getting
All right.
closer,
I know. I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on?
getting closer to us.
Okay, I think we have everybody, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it is now 6:42. I will call the Maunakea Management Board meeting back to order. And for the record, all of us attending via Zoom, please raise your hand if you have anyone else in the room with you. Yeah, I see none. For the record, all attendees are by themselves. So I will now ask Greg to summarize executive session for us.
Thank you, Chair. So during the executive session, we discussed the implications for the authorities of Maunakea Management Board and University as it relates to several of the legislative items that we covered in my executive director's report. Specifically, the whole transition process with MKSO. No decisions were made, no actions were taken, no votes were taken during the executive session. It was for informational purposes only.
Thank you. So we now move on to announcements. Greg, to you or Nahua have any announcements?
No, I'm good. Nahua, you have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, so the next Maunakea Management Board meeting will be held on Tuesday, July 7th at 5 p.m. So I thank everyone that's attending today's meeting. If there's anything else, please speak or forever hold to the next meeting. Everyone have a happy 4th of July. And, this is the start of summer, so have a great summer. And thank you again for attending, and we will see you at the next meeting. It is now 6:45 PM and I adjourn the meeting. Aloha, everyone.